Shadhar, a forgotten village in the Himalayas. Towering peaks clawed at the sky, casting long, ominous shadows. Wind howled through the empty stone houses, a mournful symphony. The silence was unnerving, broken only by the crunch of snow underfoot as a solitary woman wandered through the desolate streets.
Lena had come seeking solitude, a chance to escape the noise of the world, to conquer the treacherous peak that guarded Shadhar. Now she wished she had listened to the warnings, the old wives' tales about the village, the whispers of ancient curses. She had dismissed them as folklore, stories told to frighten outsiders. But standing here, surrounded by an oppressive silence, she wasn't so sure. Her gut churned with a primal fear. Something wasn't right. Seeking refuge from the biting wind, the lady ducked into the nearest house. The snowstorm outside was relentless, and she needed a place to warm up and gather her thoughts. The village, nestled in the heart of the Himalayas, was eerily quiet, with most of its inhabitants having moved to lower altitudes for the winter. The door creaked open, revealing a dusty interior. It seemed like no one had set foot in this house for years. The wooden floorboards groaned under her weight as she stepped inside, and a chill ran down her spine. Cobwebs clung to the rafters, and the air was thick with the smell of decay. The house was a relic of the past, with memories trapped within its walls. The lady could almost hear the echoes of laughter and conversations that once filled the rooms. In the corner, a wooden chest lay half open. It was covered in a thick layer of dust, as if it had been forgotten by time itself. Her curiosity got the better of her, and she approached the chest cautiously. Inside, a leather-bound diary, its pages brittle with age. The diary seemed to call out to her, begging to be opened and read. She could feel the weight of the years in her hands as she picked it up. She picked it up, her fingers tracing the faded ink. The handwriting was elegant yet hurried, as if the writer had been in a rush to get their thoughts down on paper. She wondered who the diary belonged to and what secrets it held. The words, written in a frantic hand, spoke of strange occurrences, whispers in the night. The writer described hearing voices that seemed to come from nowhere, and seeing shadows that moved on their own. Her heart raced as she read on, feeling a growing sense of unease, shadows moving in the periphery. The diary mentioned how the shadows seemed to have a life of their own, creeping closer and closer with each passing night. She glanced around the room, half expecting to see the shadows come to life. Fear dripped from every sentence. The writer's terror was palpable, and she could feel it seeping into her own bones. She wondered what had happened to the person who wrote the diary, and if they had ever found peace. The last entry was particularly chilling, hinting at an impending doom that the writer could not escape. She closed the diary, her mind racing with questions and a sense of dread that she couldn't shake. A sudden gust of wind slammed the door shut, the sound echoing like a scream. She jumped, her heart pounding. Outside, the wind howled louder, carrying with it a new sound, a low, murmuring whisper, indecipherable, yet chilling. The diary slipped from her grasp. The words on the page echoed in her mind. The whispers, always near, watching. She felt a cold dread creep up her spine. She was not alone. Section 5. The Blizzard. The wind intensified, morphing into a raging blizzard. Snow swirled outside, obscuring the already fading light. Panic welled up in her chest. She had to find shelter, and fast. She stumbled out of the house and into the swirling white chaos. The wind tore at her, biting at any exposed skin. Visibility was near zero. Each house she passed looked the same, lost in a labyrinth of her own fear. Section 6. Trapped. She pushed on, her hope dwindling with each gust of wind. The forest seemed endless, each tree a silent witness to her struggle. Finally, she stumbled into another house, collapsing against the door. This time the door held fast, barricaded from the inside. Trapped. Her heart pounded in her chest as she realized there was no way out. The walls seemed to close in on her, suffocating her with their oppressive silence.
The whispers started again, closer now, circling the house, mocking her. They were no longer just voices in the wind, they had form and intent. Shadows danced on the walls, their movements synchronized with the sinister murmurs. She could feel their eyes on her, watching, waiting. The air grew colder, and the whispers turned into a cacophony of taunts and jeers. Her mind raced, trying to find a way to silence them, but they only grew louder.
The lady huddled in the corner, her back against the cold stone wall. The diary's words echoed in her mind. A sense of despair washed over her. There was no escaping Shadhar. She clutched the diary to her chest, its pages filled with the stories of those who had come before her, all of them trapped, just like her. The weight of their collective hopelessness bore down on her, making it hard to breathe. She knew she had to find a way out, but every path seemed to lead back to this same, inescapable fate. The room grew darker, the shadows more menacing. She closed her eyes, trying to summon the strength to fight, but the whispers in the darkness were relentless. They seeped into her very soul, threatening to consume her entirely. In that moment, the lady realized that the true battle was not against the physical barriers, but against the despair that sought to claim her spirit. She took a deep breath, steeling herself for the fight ahead. She would not let Shadhar win, not this time. A scratching sound at the window made her jump. Slowly, she turned her head. Two eyes, glowing with an eerie green light, stared back at her. A face, pale and gaunt, materialized in the swirling snow. Its lips curled into a grotesque smile. She screamed, scrambling back until her back hit the wall. The face lingered for a moment, then vanished. The scratching continued, relentless, like claws on wood. It was her worst nightmare come to life. The diary. It held the key. Frantically, she grabbed for it, her fingers fumbling over the brittle pages. She had to understand, had to find a way to break free from the grip of Shadhar. An image caught her eye, a drawing of a shadowy figure, its eyes burning with the same eerie green light. Underneath, a scrawled sentence. The shadow of Shadhar feeds on fear. Hope flickered. She couldn't let fear consume her. She had to be strong. Taking a deep breath, the lady forced herself to her feet. She had to find a way out, for even a sliver of a chance. The ice axe, her only weapon. With a surge of adrenaline, she swung it at the door. Wood splintered. Again and again she struck, each blow fueled by desperation. Finally, the door gave way.
The storm raged on. The wind howled like a beast unleashed, tearing through the village with a ferocity that seemed almost sentient. But the lady was gone. Swallowed by the blizzard, her presence erased, as if she had never existed. Some say she escaped the village, carrying the curse of Shadhar with her. They whisper that she roams the mountains, a ghostly figure shrouded in snow, forever fleeing the darkness that seeks to reclaim her. Others believe she became another victim, her screams lost to the howling wind. They say her cries can still be heard on the coldest nights, a haunting melody that chills the bones. The village remains deserted, a frozen monument to the tragedy that unfolded, a testament to the horrors that unfolded within its walls. The houses stand empty, their windows like hollow eyes staring out into the endless white. Each creak of the floorboards, each gust of wind through the broken windows tells a story of fear and despair. The whispers still echo through the empty houses. They speak of the lady, of the curse, of the darkness that claimed so many lives. The air is thick with the weight of untold stories, each one more terrifying than the last, a chilling reminder of the darkness that haunts the shadows of Shadhar. The shadows seem to move on their own, creeping along the walls, reaching out with invisible hands. They are the remnants of the curse, a dark presence that refuses to be forgotten, waiting for the next unsuspecting soul to cross its path. The village lies in wait, a silent predator hidden beneath a blanket of snow. It watches, it listens, and it remembers. The legend of Shadhar continues, a never-ending tale of fear, loss, and the unrelenting grip of the curse.